right? So now we are going to work out a problem on this. You know very well, all spontaneous reactions will have the enthalpy change negative, the entropy change must be positive. There are some cases where the delta H is negative, suggesting spontaneous, but the entropy change will also be negative, suggesting non-spontaneous. That is a discrepancy. So in a situation like this, you need to determine the Gibbs free energy change, correct? So which decides whether it is spontaneous or non-spontaneous. So now we will work out on some problems on this entropy change of the reaction. So the reaction is this: in a reaction there will be products and there will be reactants. So the change in entropy of that reaction is going to be, NP means the number of products, say on the right side. So if there are two products, n equals 2. If there are three, n equals 3. If there is only one product, n equals 1. And the number of reactants. So they will give you the standard entropy of the products, standard entropy of the reactants. If you subtract one from the other, you will get the delta S0. If it is positive, that reaction is spontaneous. Okay? So let's see. For this reaction, ammonia undergoes oxidation to give you nitric oxide and 6H2O. They want us to calculate the delta S of the reaction. So the delta S0 of the reaction equals S0 of the products minus S0 of the reaction. What is the reaction? 4NH3 5 molecules of 4 nitric oxide molecule plus this is the reaction, correct? So now what you are going to do, the delta S0 equals the products means S0 of the products means what? 4NO plus 6H2O minus S0 of the reactants. You got it? So now you are supposed to know this. I'm sure they have given that. Yeah, here they have given. First let us write the products. S0 equals, how many nitric oxides we have? 4 times, what is the S0 of 210.8, correct? I am not writing the units for the time being. Plus 6 times, what is the entropy of water? 188.8. So these are the products. Minus 4 times, what is the entropy of ammonia? 192.8. Somebody calculate this, okay? Plus 5, what is the entropy of oxygen? 205.2. Let's simplify this, please. 4 times this plus 6 times that, add that. 4 times of this, 5 times of that. What is the answer?
178.8.
Huh?
178.8.
Is it positive?
Yes.
178, which is joules per degree Kelvin. Delta S, is it a positive number? If it is positive, is this reaction spontaneous or non-spontaneous?
Spontaneous.
Spontaneous. Okay? That's right, 178.8, excellent. So there is another problem. You just go ahead and work out, okay? Okay, now I tell you, so in a discrepancy, delta H is negative or positive, delta S is negative or positive, then you cannot decide the reaction is spontaneous or non-spontaneous, then you have to go for Gibbs free energy change, which is abbreviated as what? Delta G0, okay? So zero exponent, zero, that stands for what? You have made all the measurements at standard state, okay? I explained this already. And you need to remember this equation very well. Delta G0 equals enthalpy change minus temperature in Kelvin times the delta S0. This is a very, very important equation. Okay. So let's say an example. Sulfur dioxide plus, this is the reaction, plus 1/2 a molecule of oxygen, it gives you SO3. So in order to calculate the delta G for this reaction, you first of all you should do that, and then you should do this. Temperature, I think they have given, what temperature they have given? 25 degrees, right? So now, if you want to calculate the delta G, you are supposed to know delta H and delta S. So what have they given to calculate the delta H? Okay, they have given enthalpy of formation, they have given. You must remember this. Delta H of a reaction equals delta H0. F stands for formation, okay? Enthalpy of formation. Enthalpy of formation. So now you have to find this delta H, which is equal to enthalpy of formation of the products minus enthalpy of formation of the reactants. So they have given the enthalpy of formation of the products. Product is sulfur trioxide, correct? Right? Delta H0 F of sulfur dioxide, no, sulfur trioxide, minus delta H0 F of what? SO2 plus delta H0 F of what? Half O. Here they have given delta H of sulfur trioxide avoid 256.8. 256.8 minus, what is the delta H of sulfur dioxide? 248.2 plus, what is the delta H of oxygen? Is 0. So now it's going to be 256.8 minus 248.2, correct? Right? How much is this?
8.6.
Is it 8.6?
Yes.
8.6 it is kilojoules. 8.6 kilojoules. Okay, now calculate the delta S0. You keep this on one side, okay? I'm going to remove this. Okay, let us work out here. So delta S0 equals, so S0 of SO3 minus S0 of SO2 plus S0 of F. So what is the S0 of SO3? 256.8. Huh? No. Okay, okay. Oh my God, I used this wrong way. I should have used minus 395. You should use this, not that. But this is for entropy, this is for HF. This is all wrong. How much is that? Minus 395.7. 0.7 minus, and then 296. 296. This should be 296, correct?
Should be negative 296.8.
How much is that?
Negative 296.8.
Negative 296.8. Oh, keep going. That is very sad. Okay, now it's going to become what?
That plus that, so
Minus 3.7 plus what?
296.8.
What?
The total is going to be 692.5.
6 point?
692.5 will be the total.
This one?
Oh, no wait, I'm correct. Negative, that was my bad.
9. That would be negative 98.9.
Yeah,
Negative?
sorry.
Negative 98.9.
Negative 98.5 kilojoules, correct?
0.9.
0.9.
Negative how much?
98.9.
Kilojoules. This is your delta F0, correct? Okay, now do this. Entropy of sulfur trioxide is 256.8 and entropy of sulfur dioxide is 248.2. Plus the entropy of oxygen is what?
Real fast.
2.5 by 2 means you have to divide that by 2, half, right?
Oh, yep.
How much is that?
102.6.
Huh?
102.6.
2.6, right?
Yep.
Okay, now find out that delta S0 equals 256.8 minus, add these two.
Negative 94.
Huh?
Negative 94.
Remember, this is in joules per degree Kelvin, correct?
Yeah.
So subtract this from this and tell me how much is this?
The negative 94 is the final result.
Yeah, that's, the negative 94 is the final result.
Oh, that's what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the final result.
Okay, yes. That's what it is.
That value was 350.8.
Whatever, this is the final answer, right?
Yes.
Okay. I won't care. So now you have the entropy change is in joules, correct? But the enthalpy change is in kilojoules. They almost mean the same unit. So therefore, delta H0, multiply this by 1000. How much you are going to get? 90.9 times 1000, correct? Right? Plug them in that equation. So delta G equals, so this is negative 98.9 times 1000 joules per mole minus temperature is how much? 298 degree Kelvin, correct? Times how much is this? Negative? You said 90, something like that.
Negative 94.
Is it negative 94?
Mhm.
Okay, joules. Okay, now simplify this. Delta G 0 equals how much?
28,211. Wait, no.
That is Maya. Why did you multiply negative 98.9 and 5,000 to get joules?
Yeah, you need to convert the kilojoules into joules.
Right, but
Right.
didn't you divide it by 1,000?
No, the conversion factor.
Convert, see, if you want to convert kilojoules to joules, you have to multiply. If you want to convert joules to kilojoules, you have to divide. What will you do if you want to convert a dollar into cents?
Well, no, yeah, I know that.
Yeah, we will talk it later, okay? So what is the final answer?
Negative 70,888.
Negative 700 and
70,888.
I got
this
20
one?
I got 27,000.
How much?
I got 27,930.
I don't know what kind of calculators you all have.
So you got
Everybody comes out with some different numbers.
negative,
Either your calculators are screwed up,
negative
or
989.
you are hitting buttons.
Okay, so it's negative 98.9 minus 298 times negative 94.
You forgot about the multiply by 1,000.
Oh, right.
So what's the final answer?
70,888.
Negative 70,888. This is joules, correct? Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Can you convert this into kilojoules now to keep the
Yeah.
final answer? 70.9 kilojoules per mole. That is your answer. Now the question is, the delta G is a negative number or a positive number?
Negative.
If the delta G is negative, then what is your conclusion? Spontaneous or non-spontaneous?
Spontaneous.
So you need to practice as many as possible. I don't have time to. So that is 98.9. Okay, you got 70.9, correct?
Yep.
Negative 70.9, that's the right answer. Okay, now I will move on to. So there are other examples, go ahead and practice them. Again, if there is a controversy, like I said, determination of the delta G is of paramount importance, similar to what we discussed earlier. For a reaction, delta G0 equals G0 of the products. This is actually G0 F, okay? G0 of the reactants. This is Gibbs free energy for Gibbs free energy of formation, which is abbreviated as, say, delta G0F. Okay? Delta G0F, where F stands for what? Formation. So these values will be given to you. So the delta G of a reaction can be determined the delta GF of the products minus the delta G of the reactants. So let's start, you must remember here, the enthalpy of formation, heat of formation of all the elements in the periodic table, they are 0. The heat of formation of the gases like N2, O2, F2, Cl2, they are all 0. You must know that. And we will give you the data, okay, if you don't have that in your table. So now what we do is, what I do is that we will not get G0. Okay. It gives free energy of formation. So now have they given some equation, some reaction? Okay, this is the reaction they have given. Methane plus 8O2 so it gives you carbon dioxide plus water plus ozone. O3 is ozone. So for that, if you want to calculate the delta G0, you need G0 of formation of CO2 plus G0 of formation of 2H2O plus G0 of formation of O3 minus G0 of formation of CH4 plus G0 of formation of E4. G0 formation of O2 is 0, okay? It's a gas. So now have they given these numbers? You need to look for them. Okay, they have given here, right? How can I move this? I cannot see this.
Maybe the minus sign at top?
Huh?
The minus sign at top?
This one?
Yeah, that should just make it close, small.
So the G0 is again wrong. They have put this delta G, there is only G0. You put G0. That is equal to G0 of CO2, how much? Negative 394.4, right? 0.4. I am not writing the units. And what is G0 of water? Negative 228. 228.6. Plus what is the G0 of O3?
Wait, wouldn't the 228.6 be multiplied by 2?
Huh?
Wouldn't the 228.6 be multiplied by 2 since there's 2 water?
Yeah, that's what we multiplied by 2. Because there are 2 molecules. That's 4 times ozone is how much? 163.2, correct? 0.2. So do this please. Oh, minus what is the G0 of CH4? Negative 50.5. Plus what is the G0 of O2? 0, correct? Right? Let's simplify this. This is negative 394.4. Can you tell me what is this? Hmm?
457.2.
plus how much is this? Right? Yeah. You know, add all of them and subtract this.
That would be 457. Where you have 257, that would be 457.
Yeah. So what is this? So you are getting a positive number, right?
Yes,
Right? A big positive number.
yep,
So if this is positive, what does this suggest? If the Gibbs free energy change is positive, it is non-spontaneous. Okay. Now, do this. It is getting minus 48, right? So then this should be negative, correct? Huh?
Oh, yeah, that would be.
Should be negative. So are you getting 148? Huh?
Yeah.
So because it is negative, it is a spontaneous reaction. Now I will move on to the little complex one. Go and practice that. Okay, here, this type of reaction, stepwise reactions. Suppose a reaction takes place in multiple steps. For each step, you have this Gibbs free energy chain, correct? If a single reaction takes place in several steps, and each step you will have the Gibbs free energy chain, then what is the Gibbs free energy chain for the final equation, final reaction? Okay, example, say I am just giving you this example. So this is first step. So I'm going to say this is delta G01 first step. This is the second step, the Gibbs free energy chain for the second step is that. So this is the third step, Gibbs free energy chain for that reaction. This is the fourth step, delta G0 of the fourth step. Now watch here. Okay. So now what happens, do you know? So if you add all of them, this cancels with that, this cancels, right? And what is the overall reaction? CH4. So this is the overall reaction, correct? So they want you to calculate question mark. Okay? So you know this is similar to Hess law, which you have studied in general chemistry 1. So delta G0 equals delta G01, delta G02, delta G03, So that's what it is. Okay? Based on this, we are going to work out a problem. Is everybody following? Okay. They have given these reactions, multiple steps. 1, 2, 3. Got it? And this is the overall reaction. They want you to calculate the delta G0 for the entire reaction using these three. So how do you approach this problem? This is how you are going to do. Go to your question. In this equation, you need 3 atoms of carbon, correct? Right? You need 3 atoms of carbon. Then go back to these 3 equations. Do you have in any of these equations the carbon atom on the left side of this arrow mark?
Yes.
The middle one, correct? There is only one carbon. But how many carbons you need there? How can you convert 1C to 3? You have to multiply the whole equation. There are 3 rules you need to follow there. If you multiply a reaction, if you multiply with a number, any reaction, you have to multiply these also. If you divide an equation with an integer, then you have to divide that also. And if you reverse the reaction, suppose this is right now, is the delta G is negative, correct? Negative means that is a spontaneous reaction. Reversing means you are going to write the product first and the reactants last. Reversing. Then this becomes plus. You got to keep this in mind. So now my question is, you have 1C. To get 3C, you have to multiply this entire equation with 3. Tell me, 3C, I'm going to write, tell me, 3C
Plus 302.
is 3O2, right?
Yeah.
Then this is going to be,
30CO2.
so then your delta G0 is going to be what? 3 times
394.4.
394.4, correct? Is it minus?
Yes.
394.4 total. Okay, then 3C, got it, correct? Then you go for 4H2. 4H2 there, everything. Do you have in any of these equations H2 on the left side? You have this, correct? But you need 4H2, but you have what? You have to multiply this whole damn thing with 2. Tell me, what is that then? 4H2? Huh?
202.
4H2 plus 2O2. Then what?
4H2O.
H2O.
Is it 4H2O?
Yes.
So then delta G0 of that is going to be what?
457.
2 times
457.1.
457.1 kilojoules. Okay, now you have the values for these two, correct? But now you need that one, correct? C3H8, which is propane gas. You need that, right? Do you have C3H8 in any of these 3 equations on the right side of the arrow mark? You don't have, correct? But you do have on the left side, correct? But you want it on the right side. What will you do?
Reverse it.
Reverse that. So reverse, that means, what is that you are going to write?
3.
3CO2, correct? Three CO2 plus what?
4H2.
4H2O.
4H2O. Then what?
With C3H8 plus 5O2.
4H2O. C3H8 plus
5O2.
5O2. So now this is going to become what? Delta G0 equals positive, correct? Positive 2074 kilojoules. Agreed? Now what you do is I am going to add all the left side first, and then I am going to add all the right side of the NMR. So if I add them, I'm going to get 3C plus 3O2 plus 4H2 plus 2O2 plus 3CO2 plus 4H2O. I have added all this side, correct? So now I am going to add all the right side. 3CO2, 4H2O, C3H8 plus what?
502.
5O2. So you simplify them and look here. I draw your attention here. You have 3 molecules of oxygen, 3 plus 2 what? 3O2 plus 2O2 is 5O2, right? That cancels out, correct, on both sides. And then you have 3 CO2 on the left side, 3 CO2 on the right side. Is it clear? Then 4H2 on the left side, 4H2 on the right side. So you will be left with what?
3C plus
3C,
4H2.
huh?
plus 4H2.
4H2, correct? Right? There you have what?
H8.
Is this the same thing?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, now, did you simplify this?
Negative 23.4.
Huh?
Negative 23.4.
Negative 23.4 kilojoules. Is this reaction spontaneous? Huh? Is this spontaneous or
Yes,
non-spontaneous?
spontaneous.
It is. It's a negative number, right?
Yes.
So that is a spontaneous reaction. So this is another example. No, they have worked out this. Final answer is what? 23, correct? So one more example here. Go ahead and practice. I will just okay for this. So if you know the Gibbs free energy chain, you can determine the equilibrium constant of a reversible reaction. Okay? You can determine the equilibrium constant. So if you apply the law of mass action, before the reaction reaches the state of equilibrium, if you have, I hope you still remember all this. A moles of A, B moles of B, this is reversible. C moles of C plus D moles of D. When this reaction is at equilibrium, and the law of mass action equation is, you are going to write this as K equals the molar concentration of C to the power of C, the molar concentration of D to the power of D, the molar concentration of A to the power A, and molar concentration of B to the power B. If it is at equilibrium, okay? Where K is called what?
Equilibrium constant.
Equilibrium.
Equilibrium constant. Correct? So you have Kc and Kp, remember? Kp is the partial pressure. Now, if you apply the law of mass action to this reaction which is not at equilibrium yet, before the reaction reaches the state of equilibrium, if you apply the law of mass action, then we do not represent this by K, instead we are going to call it as Q. Remember? What is Q called? Reaction quotient. Okay? And the same thing, similarly you have QC and QP, correct? Correct. Have you read them for Kp? Partial pressure of capital C to the power of small c, partial pressure of D to the power of D over partial pressure of A, and this is how you write. You also wrote that in the assignment, correct? If you remember correctly. Similarly, if it is QP, that's what you are going to write. Using this background, if you know the Kc or Kp or Qc or Qp, you can determine the delta G value using this equation. So delta G equals, delta G means it is not determined at standard state. The Gibbs free energy change determined at any conditions, like any temperature, any pressure, any concentration, that is delta G. Delta G equals, now the Gibbs free energy change determined at standard state, are you with me? Plus, you have to remember this equation. R is the gas constant, temperature is the Kelvin, then natural log of Q. What is Q? Reaction quotient. That reaction before reaches the state of equilibrium. Okay? So now that's what it is. And when once it reaches the state of equilibrium, then you have what? Delta G equals delta G0 plus RT what? ln K. This is at what? Equilibrium. When K is the equilibrium constant. And also I have told you, if you have a natural log value, this you can convert to the log to the base 10. ln is the natural log. Okay, how do you convert this? Natural log, if you want to convert this to natural log to the base 10, and this is the relationship 2.303 log to the base 10. Okay, tell me natural log of 5, tell me how much? Natural log of 5 in your calculator, ln of 5 how much?
1.609.
Huh?
1.609.
1.609? 1.609, correct? Now, tell me 2.303 times log 5, tell me. LOG now, it is not ln.
1.609.
How much?
1.609.
2.303 times how much?
1.609.
Log 5?
Yeah.
You don't know to look at your calculator.
Log 5 is 0.698.
0.69?
Yeah.
Tell me, 4 digits.
0.6989.
Yeah, that's what you need. 0.6989. Can you multiply these two? If you multiply 2.303 times 0.6989, how much?
1.609.
Huh?
1.609.
Correct? That means always whenever you want to convert this natural log to the log to the base 10, just multiply that 2.303. Okay? Now, what I do is here, this. This you can write delta G0 plus, can I write this? 2.303 RD log Q here, got it? Here delta G0 plus 2.303 RD log K. You have to remember these equations, okay? Got it? Your life becomes very simple. Suppose I give you the equilibrium constant. Can you calculate this delta G? Because R is a gas constant. Temperature they will give you. R is known, T is known. If I give you K, you can calculate this. Suppose I give you delta G0. Can you calculate K? Correct? Both you can calculate. So how much time we have still? 2 minutes. Then I will start this example.